Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be customizing the Weaponized Tampa in Grand Theft Auto Online. This is one of the most underrated armed vehicles in the entire game, in my opinion. Definitely a super underappreciated vehicle and one that I feel like it deserves a lot more love. So that's what we're going to be trying to get it. We're going to hop into the adventure with this thing and we're going to get customizing. Now, the Weaponized Tampa, generally very highly overlooked because it is a very weak vehicle. This thing can only take one rocket and it will blow up. However, it is still really good for fighting ground targets or even fighting armored targets at a distance. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. We're going to start off with the armor on this vehicle. We're going to go all the way up with that. Now this vehicle also does have the ability to put armor plating on it. However, the armor plating doesn't do anything to actually help protect you when you're inside the vehicle. It's very similar to the Insurgent Pickup Customs heavy armor. Doesn't do anything, so there's no real point in putting it on other than that I guess it kind of looks cool, but it also removes your ability to shoot out of the vehicle, so it's not my favorite upgrade. We're going to leave it off. The brakes though, we will upgrade those all the way. The engine is already upgraded because this may have been my personal vehicle before this video started. Next up we have the hood. We can add a light armored hood, medium armored hood, or a heavy armored hood. I actually kind of like the look of the light armored hood. I just wish that it maybe didn't have like the diamond plating on it. That would be a little bit superior, but you know what, just for the video, we'll put it on. Why not? It doesn't look that bad, right? Headlights, we will go xenon, of course. The neon, we will actually add neon to this car. I've never done this before, but it's something that I'm interested in doing. And I definitely want to put some red underglow on this. I feel like that looks pretty sick. So we're going to go for that. For the livery, we do have a few options here. But before we get into that, I'm actually just going to change the color of the vehicle. We're also going to change the plate to yellow on black, of course. And we are going to add a proximity mine dropper to this thing. Yes, it has a proximity mine dropper. It's very good. For the color, I do want to go for my custom crew color, which is red, of course. And we're going to do that for the secondary color as well. Actually, maybe we won't. The secondary color does the gun. I almost like that in like a light gray. I feel like that's cooler. Let's go for light gray for the secondary. Now we're going to go back to the livery here, and we do have some really cool liveries that we can put on this thing. They do look pretty odd with the red, a lot of them, but some of them also look pretty cool, like the Nature Reserve camo with the red. I think that is pretty sick. We might have to go for that. I'm not sure. There's a lot of different options here, but I think we're gonna go for the Nature Reserve because I mean, it kind of looks sick, right? So we'll go for that. For the suspension on this car, it does have relatively poor handling, so we will lower it all the way down just to try to get a little better traction. For the transmission, we will upgrade that all the way as well, and we will add the turbocharger to this as well. Now for the weapons, this thing, you can arm it right to the teeth. We can add a missile launcher on the front end of this, so let's do that, why not? We can also add the rear firing mortar, and of course we can add the dual remote minigun. Now this allows you to aim the minigun rather than it being forward facing. You can 360 this thing, so definitely a pretty good upgrade. These are all unlocked in the bunker through research, so that's how you get these if you don't have them on your Tampa. If you go to upgrade it, you have to research the vehicle first. For the wheels, we will go for some off-roads. We're going to go for my favorite off-road rim, the Concave Rally Master. Looks good on pretty much everything, and we're going to go for the black color on that. I think that looks pretty good. Tire design, we could go for it. Not a super huge fan though, so I'm just going to avoid it. And last but not least, we are going to tint the windows all the way out on this thing. And there you guys have it. That is pretty much it for the customization part of this. Let's take the Weaponized Tampa outside and we're gonna get down to some business. Overall, the vehicle, I feel like it looks really good with this colorway and the livery that we have on it. I feel like it looks pretty cool. So to get into the review of this car, as you guys can see, the missiles they're quite good. They definitely can do some damage. They are spammable, so you know, they're pretty good. To my knowledge, I don't think that these are even limited as well. I'm pretty sure you can just keep shooting these for as long as you want to. The only thing is you have to be careful because, like I said, this vehicle can only take one rocket and then it will blow up, so you really got to watch it there. But the missiles aren't really the best part of this vehicle. Of course, we also have the rear firing mortar, which is pretty good. You can generally do some damage with it. If you got people chasing you, dropping proximity mines and then also firing the rear facing mortar behind you is a pretty deadly combo, I gotta say. You can definitely cause some destruction for any vehicles that are behind you. I mean, like, if you guys can see, I mean, like, dude, it's honestly a little bit unfair. But the real unfair part of this car is, of course, the dual remote minigun. This thing is ridiculous. It can destroy cars so fast, does so much damage. You can one-shot civilians with it. You can pretty much one-shot players. I mean, it depends on level, of course, and how accurate you are, but you can do very, very heavy damage to players or NPCs alike. Whatever you want this car to do, it will do. It'll do everything well. It's a great car. Now, about the performance of the vehicle, like I mentioned, the handling is a little bit less than ideal. However, one saving grace with this vehicle is, compared to the regular Tampa, this one is four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. So you do get really good traction off the line, you get a really good launch. You can go off-road with this vehicle as well because it is four-wheel drive and you'll have a really easy time with it. I would recommend putting on off-road tires just to help out with any off-roading that you're going to do. And just generally, off-road tires offer better traction, very slightly better traction than other wheels in the game, so they are kind of worth it to have on this vehicle. Now, this thing is quite the glass cannon because, I mean, it can only take one rocket, like I've mentioned a few times now, so you're really gonna have to rely on good offensive play with this thing if you're planning on using it against other players, because if you're using it against, you know, players and you're not really paying attention to, you know, keeping your distance from them and everything like that, you're gonna get stopped pretty quick with this thing because, like I said, like it's got no armor essentially. So it's unfortunate, but it is still a really good vehicle. Definitely one that I don't see many players operating in online. Now, I think a big reason for that is, of course, the armor, and everyone's got this, you know, fear of Oppressor Mark IIs, and rightly so. I mean, they can very easily one-shot this thing, and, you know, it's not like it takes them any effort. They just have to, you know, lock on and click a button. The Oppressor, you know, takes no skill. So the Oppressor Mark II, that is, sorry. Overall, though, I would like to see more players using the Weaponized Tampa. I actually use this in online relatively often when I'm playing against other players. If, you know, I get involved in some PvP, occasionally I will pull this thing out, and if you keep your distance, like I said, you can destroy people with the Weaponized Tampa. It is such a good car. The miniguns on this thing have like insanely good range. Like you guys can see, I'm hitting that wall all the way down there. So like as far as I know, the range on this thing is pretty much as far as you're ever gonna need. Like, it's not infinite, that's for sure, but it's pretty damn far. Like, I'm hitting that car that's all the way up the street right there. I'm so far away. Like, there's not even NPCs loading in that far away. Overall, guys, the Weaponized Tampa is definitely a vehicle that I would recommend checking out. I actually regret not putting this thing on my best offensive vehicles list because it truly is a very good offensive vehicle. This thing is crazy good. Anyway, guys, I think that's pretty much it for the customization and review on the Weaponized Tampa. I would recommend picking this thing up. It's about $1.6 million. I think that is included with the trade price. I'm not sure about the price outside of the trade price, but it is still a very good vehicle, especially if you're just fighting against AI. You can't really go wrong with this thing. You can do a lot of damage in not very much time. The Weaponized Tampa is great. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, a like is of course appreciated, if not dislike. Subscribe if you guys are new. Make sure you go and check out the update week. I got another video coming out today that has covered that, so if you haven't heard what's going on this week in Grand Theft Auto Online, go and check that out. Anyway, guys, I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.